all of the people. In Tiananmen Square, Beijing, China.
The race is on! Will it be Xi or Li for China's future? My report on the 17th Party Congress. And two famous investors weigh in on whether Shanghai bubbles. The fourth quarter is well underway, and the B word is once again in the news, with the bigwigs inside and outside China warning that the Shanghai bubble could pop at any time. Warren Buffett tells investors to be cautious of Chinese stocks, reminding reporters in China that the venerable Berkshire Hathaway buys stocks that have growth potential over price rises. In an interview last week on the new Fox Business Channel, Buffett said that he sold his remaining holdings of PetroChina as recently as 3 weeks ago. Berkshire Hathaway owned more than 3% of the company's shares. Given the pace of deals and new projects underway at PetroChina and the growth potential of its markets worldwide, one has to wonder whether Warren Buffett sees something in the anticipated IPO of PetroChina on the Shanghai A-share market to avoid. Does PetroChina's meteoric rise signal a hard fall in the future? Or are the dynamics of the 21st century oil and gas sector too hot for Warren Buffett to handle? Buffett's views were seconded by Wang Zheng, a manager at the Chinese brokerage Everbright Securities, who told a Bloomberg reporter it was about time to pull out of Shanghai. For an alternate view, Jim Rogers, co-founder of the Quantum Fund along with George Soros, told the British Daily Telegraph that Chinese equities are not a bubble yet. Rogers said the Shanghai Composite could see 9,000 before he'd quit. "I do not want to sell Chinese stocks," he said. "I want to own them forever, and I want my daughter to own them." Rogers' daughter is 4 years old. Meanwhile, yet more foreign investors may soon get action in Shanghai. Regulators on Taiwan have given approval for native mutual funds to buy stocks in Hong Kong and in mainland China. Taiwan funds can put up around 0.5% of their assets in China proper, most likely Shanghai, where many Taiwan-based businesses have returned or set up shop. But they may spend as much as 10% of assets on Chinese companies listed in Hong Kong. Both figures add up to billions in new cash-seeking opportunities in China, another sign that prices will continue to rise. The Shanghai Composite Index dropped back below 6,000 late last week, and there it stays, closing October 23 at 5,843. The CSI 300 Index plunged since our last show and is now hovering just above 5,500. Shanghai B shares are back just above levels from the start of the month. They closed October 23 a hair above 370. Shenzhen Bs are far above their August trough, but down as well on October 23, closing at 763.138. The 17th Party Congress of the Chinese Communist Party last week in Beijing, by all appearances, affirmed President Hu Jintao's hold on national-level political power. Former President Jiang Zemin's senior allies did not move forward. This is interpreted to mean his influence is waning. But in the process of consolidating power, Hu has surrounded himself with 8 rivals or potential successors, at least one of them still connected to Jiang Zemin. The selection of Xi Jinping and Li Keqiang as new members to the Standing Committee, the Politburo, or the top decision-making body of the party, has generated the most buzz. Media outside China have already declared Xi China's next leader after Hu is most likely re-elected to a second and final 5-year term as president by next year's National People's Congress. But is it so certain? Xi Jinping is said to be a protege of Jiang Zemin, admittedly one only very recently elevated to national office. Xi was elected to be the chief of the party's secretariat, in charge of the day-to-day running of the party. But Li Keqiang has yet to be given a clear role. Indications are he will be a new chief vice premier. Li is from the Communist Youth League, said to be Hu Jintao's base. What is missing from most reports is awareness of how the party's composition is changing and where power is most likely to come from now and in the future. Party delegates were selected during a 9-month period that began last October. The selection of delegates takes place within electoral blocks of party members. The most significant bloc growing in power is the Communist Youth League, where Hu is believed to have most influence. Communist Youth League members are obviously younger, but also more educated and more likely to be an independent professional. Overall, the composition and number of party delegates is growing. Unlike the National People's Congress that attempts a form of proportional representation based on population, the number of Chinese Communist Party delegates increases with the number of party members, and thus growing the influence of the party in the country. 10 years ago, 58 million party members selected a little over 2,000 delegates to the Party Congress. This year, more than 73 million party members selected over 2,200 delegates to the 17th Party Congress. Delegates are getting younger and more representative of the population. For example, in the 2007 Congress, 20% of delegates are women. Over 10% are ethnic minorities, such as Muslims, and almost a third are younger grassroots members. Over 70% are under 55, and 416 delegates are under 45. The base of the party is no longer Gong Nong Bing, workers, peasants, and soldiers, as it was under Chairman Mao. Today, the base of the party is made up of 50 million professionals, from self-employed entrepreneurs to engineers and state-owned corporations to managers in every capacity. This group has assets valued at almost $1.5 trillion US. They are probably the largest single political class in the world. They are the new face of the party in China. I'll be back next week with a full IPO report. I'll see you next time.